Okay, so in this video I'm going to go over some of the basic things in Inkscape, primarily the shape tools, but this is really going to serve as just the basic ways to move about the program and some of the things that you can do, like changing the colour and stuff like that. So I'm going to start by drawing a rectangle. I'm going to go through all the shapes, but they're all quite similar. We'll start off with the rectangle tool, and it will draw it in just the last colour or the default colour that Inkscape uses. So for me it was red. So if I just draw it in any shape, I'll show you how to change the colours and I'll go into a bit more detail. So if I click onto the shape and I'll go to object and then fill and stroke, then it will come up with the fill and stroke menu at the side. Now you might need to move your bars around at the bottom. You can do that just by scrolling these around, or you can go to view, zoom 1 to 2, or view, zoom 1 to 1. You can also hold in control and scroll in and out as well. So when you get the fill and stroke menu up, I like to use the wheel. They all do similar things, but the wheel makes the most sense. You pick the colour and then you pick how dark or how light you want it, or if you want something in between. The stroke is an outline, so it's just the name they use for outline, and it's the exact same thing if you want to change the colour. But here we've got stroke style, and it might come up for you 0.3 or something like that, where you can't really see what's happening. So you might need to go in and change the size to whatever it is that you want to do. So there's nothing too complicated about this, but just remember, whenever you draw something else in, it'll come in with like the last thing that you've done. So it gets a wee bit annoying to come into here all the time to change the stroke. So you can come down to the bottom as well, and you can change the colour down here. And if you click shift, then it gets rid of, or if you hit shift, it will do the outline. And if you click the cross over here, it will get rid of whatever it is you're clicking. So if you click shift, it'll get rid of that. If you click just regular click, then it will remove the inside of it and remove the fill. So when you put in your shape, you can also hold control, and it will make it an exact square rather than doing a rough rectangle. And that's the exact same thing with the circle tool. It's a wee bit more helpful because whenever you're using the circle tool, you normally want an exact circle. So that's holding control. Same with the star. So also with the rectangle tool, if you click again, you'll see that these options change. So these normally just change the size, but if you click them again, it will change it into a parallelogram, or it will rotate it, depending on what one you're using. And it will rotate around this square that's in the middle, so or this cross that's in the middle. So if you move that, then it will move this around. If you ever want to undo anything, just control and then Z, and it will move you back to where you were. If you do a fast double click, so this is the third option for these tools, it will put this little circle and the square in here. So if you hold it and you pull it down, then it will round your edges, and already you can start to get some quite complex things just by, so this looks nothing like a rectangle, but just by going through the different menus in the square tool. I'll do that again with the circle. So you can draw a circle, you can hold control, and it'll make an exact circle. You can click it again and it'll sort of change the angle of it. And then you can change different points in it if you double click again. So you can make like a half circle or a Pac-Man shape. And it's very similar stuff for the stars and polygons shape. When you're drawing it, if you change the corners, it will change it to whatever amount of corners you want. So if you do 5, you get 5. If you do 6, you get 6, and so on. And it is same as the other tools. You can double click and you'll get these options to change some more things, and the regular click just moves it here. So the square, the circle, and the stars and rectangles tool are all pretty much the same in the fact that if you click and then click again, or you double click, you've got all these different options that you can play about with. So rather than watching this video a few times trying to remember all that and do it as I go, just have a wee play about with the tools, have a play about with the fill and stroke, and you'll eventually start to make some cool things. Right, good luck.